welcome back to my channel. Glad you could join me today. Most of the time I post photos about wildlife, how to take photos of wildlife using the Nikon Z6II, but I also like to talk about landscape photography, panoramic photography. Today I want to talk about landscape photography and using an ultra wide angle lens. Until middle of last year, I'd been using Nikon crop sensor cameras for quite a while. I had the Nikon D7500, then upgraded to Nikon D500 when I got more into wildlife. And at that time, I had two lenses for my crop sensor Nikon cameras. I had the Tokina 17-20 when I want to shoot ultra wide and for astro, and I had the Nikon 18-140 for everyday general photography, and I really like those two lenses. But when I sold my Nikon D500 and bought the Nikon Z6II, I was in a dilemma because I just upgraded camera systems, it's quite a bit of an outlay, and at that time the only lens that I could afford was the Nikon 24-85mm lens. My ultra wide angle lens days are gone now. I'm going to get used to shooting at 24mm, which is an equivalent around 16mm for a crop sensor camera. So I said, like, 16mm, I'll be fine, I'll be happy with that. I soon realized after about 3 or 4 months that I was really missing my ultra wide angle lens. There lies the dilemma. What lens to buy when you're on a tight budget? A lot of people that subscribe to my channel and follow me, they're everyday photographers. They don't have a lot of cash in their back pocket like me. So I started hunting around for a budget ultra wide angle lens. And believe me, there's not that many budget ultra wide angle lenses available. Nikon is priced way out of the market, so I decided to buy the Tokina 17-35mm f4 lens. Now, I like shooting astro. You know, with my health, I don't do too much astro these days. I don't do astro workshops anymore. If I go out 3 or 4 times a year to shoot astro, I'm very happy. I said, like, f4, the Z6II is great at high ISO 8000. When I was using the 24-85, I shot one astro image and it came out great. So I said, like, f4, I'll be happy with that. I wasn't shooting astro straight away and I was starting to shoot landscapes. And I found it, wow, I've made the deal of the century. $300 for a full frame ultra wide angle lens. I was in camera heaven, so beauty. Let's take a look at these photos. This was taken at around 4:30 in the morning, but you could see it doesn't handle lights. Look at the halos around and look at the top right hand corner. That's not my finger, that's just the lens. It just doesn't like light hitting it front on. But as a backup, I also had the 24-85mm because I was pretty sure that I was going to have problems, and I thought, well, if I'm going to do a video, I want to show that this is the problem with this lens. So this image here was taken about 10 minutes before sunrise. This is the raw file, this is the edited file. But look, all the way to the right here, can you see around the light here? We've got glare. This lens doesn't handle light very well. So this photo here was taken at 30mm, 60 seconds, ISO 100. This one here was taken with the Nikon 24-85mm at 33mm, so very close to 30mm. Same aperture, same exposure time. That's why this one's a little bit brighter. I just moved the camera just a little bit, but it gives you an idea. Look, there is no halos around the light. I've got like a star pattern around these lights. Now here's a comparison. I've cropped these to show you. The Tokina is on the left, the Nikon is on the right. Look at the difference. Can you see the difference between these two? Now this image here was taken in daytime of the Godswick Chapel near Armidale. This is the raw file. Now this is the edit file, and it's done a great job. In daytime, I took a lot of photos when I went to Armidale. In daytime with this lens, some waterfall photos, and I got some great photos. Now this photo was taken, it's an old boat that's rotting away. This is the raw file, this is the edited file, and this is just before sunset. Again, it looks really nice. I cannot floor this lens. If you're just a landscape photographer photographing between sunrise and sunset, very rarely will landscape photographers tread out at nighttime because there's not much color at night. I'm giving you what this lens is good for, and also to let you know what this lens isn't good for. So if you're like me, wanting to go from crop set camera to a full frame and you're looking for an ultra wide angle lens, then be mindful that this lens here will not be good for night photography. So this next photo here of sunset, this is the raw file, this is the edited file, and the edited file looks great. The colors are great. I've zoomed in here to the hotel. There's no chromatic aberration. I'm very happy using this lens in the daytime, but only recently I realized that this lens has a major flaw. Now understand, this lens is quite old. Now I'll put the date that it was manufactured here in the video. About 6 weeks ago, we went for an astro shoot with a friend of mine. This is where I found the downfall of this lens. It's just not suitable for astrophotography. So this astro image was the first one that I took, and I found that this is where all my problems I realized with astro was going to be. It looks fairly good. This is the unedited version. This is the edited version. As soon as I tried to pull in some detail, look at the amount of noise in this image. This is taken at ISO 6400, I think about a month and a half ago. It looks really nice, but I'll just zoom in a little bit and look on the top left hand corner here. Can you see all those trails here? This lens here was creating trails. These photos were taken at 13 seconds at ISO 6400. There should be no trails at all. My friend who was right beside me, he was shooting at 15 mils at 13 seconds, which is a wider field. So he should have had trails if there was going to be trails in the lens. His lens was perfect. No trails at all. Going forward now, I have a decision to make. Am I going to say, okay, well, for daytime photography, I can use the Tokina 17-35 f4. But when it comes to photographing at night, for astro, I will have to look at getting the Samyang 14mm. But if I want to shoot at night, I'm going to have to live using the Nikon 24-85mm lens. If you have a lens that you think that could do both astro and landscape night photography, leave it in the comments. I'd really like to hear your thoughts on it. Thanks for watching. If you've got any comments or feedback, leave it in the comments box below. Enjoy photography, and I'll see you next time.